an addict in recovery, you're an addict still using, you have a family member who's an addict, you have a friend who's an addict, you get to know somebody who's an addict, or you want to know more about addiction, join me for the next few minutes as we talk about some of the intricacies of addiction and some of the different feelings and emotions that we experience. Welcome, everybody, to Illuminate, Navigate, Radiate, your journey of emotional resilience. I'm your host, Brandon, and I wanted to just take a few minutes and talk about my experiences with addiction and some of those bigger emotional feelings or those bigger aspects of it that we may go through as we use. And it's a really tough thing to even to put into words, to get somebody to understand addiction, that you're so controlled by a substance, you're so obsessed with a substance that you are willing to do anything and destroy anything to use that substance. And that's a really hard thing for non-addicts to understand. And we don't set out to be addicts, right? We don't set out to become addicted to whatever it is that we're using. Nobody wants that. Nobody wants to be controlled or feel like that they have no freedom because they're chained by those substances. They're chained by those different escapes, whatever that may be. And a lot of the times, it starts out as a little bit of fun, right? It starts out with just experimenting, or it starts out with trying to numb some pain, or it starts out with some peer pressure and you're around people using. You never really set out to be an addict, but there's usually that moment where you can start feeling it take over. And I know for me, that was a lot about escaping the pain, escaping myself. And that started earlier for me than probably some, but I never felt good about myself. I was always a little self-conscious. I was always, I had a lot of self-doubt growing up. And so when I used, especially that first bit of time of using, I felt on top of the world. I felt really good about myself. I didn't have to worry about anything anymore. I didn't have any self-doubt. I didn't have any, negative thoughts about myself, because when I got high, none of that shit mattered. I just got high or just got drunk, and I lived in the moment, I guess. And so I thought it was fun. I thought it was doing something really good for me. And so I kept doing it, and at first it didn't really hurt anything for me. It didn't destroy anything for me. I was able to numb my pain and get rid of those negative feelings I had and still maintain my balance of life. And so in doing that, it created this illusion of control, right? It created this idea that I was able to control the substance. I was able to control the booze or the weed or the heroin, because I was maintaining life. I was getting all A's or B's in high school. I got a college scholarship. I was doing well in the soccer field. I had good friends. My relationships were better. And so I thought everything was good. I thought everything was under control, and I was able to do these things in life and be successful while maintaining my drug use. And that all changed. In between my freshman and sophomore year, that's when I started doing heroin, and that was when the control just completely left. I wasn't able to maintain anything. I wasn't able to keep up with anything because I was so, one-sided with my thoughts. It was all about heroin. It was all about getting high. And so when that control left, it kind of, smacked me in the face, because right away I'd lost everything I worked for. I dropped out of college. I got kicked off the soccer team, basically. The relationships I had there just ended within the day because I dropped out, or I got kicked off. I dropped out, and then I left right away. I went back to my parents' house and continued my drug use. And I went through this period in my life of trying to find different ways to control it, trying to find different ways to be a normal person, but still get high and still use drugs the way I was using drugs. And so I would, get off heroin for a little bit. I would still do just about everything else, because I really only saw my problem as being, using heroin through a needle and injecting it into me. I thought that was the only time my life was out of control. So I'd get, some control of my life, some normalcy back in my life, kind of put it together, and then the hard drugs would start up again. I'd start using heroin, coke, or whatever it was, and everything would quickly fall apart. So I had this illusion that I could control anything as long as I wasn't doing hard drugs. And my life was pretty normal when I wasn't doing hard drugs. I mean, yeah, I still had some, some problems, some different things that didn't always go well, but I was able to, look like a normal person from the outside. Everybody just chucked it off as, oh, they're of age, so they're drinking or they're smoking, and it's not that big of a deal. For me, it was always a big deal because I was always using it to escape myself. And every time I'd go back to the dope, every time I'd go back to heroin, I always wanted that first experience all over again. And I remember that first time shooting up and how good that felt, how amazing I thought that felt. That euphoria, that rush of that high was just so intense and so insane. I always wanted that again. And so every time I picked up again, I always thought it was going to be that same thing. And when it wasn't, I was like, all right, well, I got to keep going. I got to keep going until I get that feeling. And so we're always chasing something that we're never going to catch. We're always chasing something and trying to find something that we're never going to find. We're never going to get that first high again. And that chase, um, that trying to go after it 24/7, trying to find that again, that's what ends up killing a lot of us. That's what ends up putting a lot of us in prison because of the choices we make and the decisions get worse and worse as we become more blinded by, oh, I need more. I need more. I need more. I need more. I need this right now, right now, right now. As we become blinded by that, nothing else mattered. Not even our own life, not even the thought of this could kill me. I remember one time I melted down some heroin and didn't look like heroin in the needle. And I did it anyway. The drive to get high out, out muscled the will to live, because I was like, well, maybe it's not, maybe it is, but I need to get high, so I'm gonna do it anyway. And so those instances become more and more. Those negative things become more and more, and we lose control of everything. We lose sight of everything. We lose ourself in those moments. As we lose ourself, we lose everybody else around us. We become more and more isolated as we go. We become more and more lonely as we go. Even when we're around people, our thoughts on getting high. So we don't really even consider the fact that we're around people. Whenever I was around somebody, I was like, all right, I gotta, how can I sneak into the bathroom to get higher? Or when I leave here, I'm gonna go get high, or I'm gonna go buy some drugs, or that's always where I lived. I always lived in that space of, I need to get high right now. I need to, make sure my next high is set up. I need to make sure, I'm riding out the high that I'm on, and so it consumes you, and you're not really present in any moments. And then when you're not present in those moments, and you start to do those things that destroy those relationships, you lose people. I lost so many people out of my life that, I either hurt or manipulated or just didn't want to put up with my shit. And so I don't have a lot of, friendships from high school. I don't have a lot of friendships from college, just because those bridges were burned. Those people that I went through, different moments in my life with are gone for a variety of different reasons. And, probably 99% of that is my fault, is what I did in addiction to drive that. And so it becomes a really lonely place, and as we go through this, as we face these challenges, and as I talk about some of this, it's full of despair. It's full of desperation. It's full of loneliness. It's full of, just all these negative things. But also talk about it from a place of, there's hope. I'm a recovering addict, 9 years, over 9 years clean and sober. I haven't picked up a drug since that last time. I haven't picked up a drink since that last time. And my life has completely changed. I have things that I never thought I would have in my life. And that's what recovery gives us. It is more than just giving up the drugs. It is more than just giving up the drink. We have to work on so much more in order to be productive members of society, in order to be happy people. Because drug use destroys a lot of us, right? It can completely bury most of the essence that makes us up. And so, it comes from a place of hope that things can change. Things can get better. If you're struggling, reach out. If you know somebody struggling, reach out. If you have a family member, a friend, or you just want more information about it, reach out. There are so many resources. There are so many things we can do to help each other. And a big part of that is connecting, motivating each other, finding healthier ways to deal with the cravings, finding healthier ways to deal with the depression or the anxiety or, the trauma that all comes with that. So there's hope. You can get out of it. You can find a different way of life. You can find a better way of life. There are options. There are different ways to do it. There's not one way to do it. If you've tried meetings and they didn't work, try something else. If you tried medicine and it didn't work, try something else. If you've tried therapy, if you've tried journaling, if you've tried, exercise, whatever it was, if none of that stuff worked for you, there's another option to try. There's another way to go about it. And I promise you, if you keep trying, if you put all your will into it, it'll work. If you take that mindset, right? If you take that mindset of, I'm going to do whatever I need to do to get high, and you change that to I'm going to do whatever I need to do to stay clean today, to better myself, to take care of myself. It works. It doesn't matter what that looks like for you, as long as it's healthy and it's positive. It doesn't matter what that looks like for you. But if you can change that and put that into stuff that's going to keep you clean, give you a meaning and a purpose to your life, you're going to be able to do it. So come, so come check out our channel some more. Come see what we're all about. I talk about a lot of mental health things, obviously a lot about addiction, but it's all about bettering each other. It's all about bringing some positive energy into a world that seems to be becoming more and more consumed by negativity. And, that's what I want to try to do with this channel. So come join, come participate, subscribe, like things, whatever it is that you do to participate in something like this, try it out. So thank you for joining me. Thank you for listening. Appreciate your time as always. It's been Illuminate, Navigate, Radiate. Have a great rest of your day.